today. And as always, you guys send in some fascinating stuff. This time it's all about ASTRA AI.
ASTRA AI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about this?
I have, yeah. Definitely been seeing them popping up more and more.
Wow.
Kind of breaking into the mainstream a little bit, I think.
Yeah, they're getting some buzz. Well, you guys sent in some articles about ASTRA AI, specifically their roadmap for 2025, and then also this banking platform they have called ASTRA Bank.
Oh, interesting. ASTRA Bank. So they're really trying to bring the whole package then.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, their whole thing is they're trying to blend traditional finance with Web3.
Okay, so that's where the AI comes in, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we'll get into all that.
That's
But first, I
okay.
want to talk about Astra Bank for a second because it's really interesting. So they're seeing a ton of new registrations, a lot of people signing up for this bank.
I can see why that would be appealing. Yeah.
But not everyone is getting approved.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that's what we're going to try to get to the bottom of today.
Sounds like a challenge. I'm in.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first, let's just start with like a basic definition. What is ASTRA AI?
Okay. So Astra AI, simply put, it's a platform. It's a platform that's aiming to bridge the gap between traditional finance, right, the banks we all know, and Web3, which is this, well, it's kind of this new frontier in finance using things like blockchain.
Crypto, NFTs, all that.
Exactly, yeah. And Astra AI uses a combination of artificial intelligence, AI, and something called DeFi. DeFi is short for decentralized finance, which is a big part of this whole Web3 thing.
So it's almost like they're building this translator between
That's a great way to put it.
two different languages.
Yeah. Like a universal translator for money. I like that.
So traditional finance can understand what Web3 is saying and vice versa?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then you mentioned their 2025 roadmap. What are they trying to do over the next couple of years?
Well, they have some ambitious goals,
Yeah.
to say the least. Yeah.
In fact, one of the things they've already done, just in Q1 of this year, they rolled out this feature where you can trade tokenized assets directly from your Astra Bank account.
Tokenized assets, just to be clear for our listeners.
Yeah, that's basically taking a real-world asset like a stock or a bond or even real estate and turning it into a digital token that can be traded on a blockchain.
It makes it easier to trade, right?
Much easier, yeah.
More accessible.
More liquid, all the good stuff. And the fact that you can do this straight from your bank account with Astra Bank, it's pretty groundbreaking.
It is. It is. So what else is on this roadmap? Because like I said, they're trying to do a lot in the next couple of years.
Well, one of the things that really jumps out at me is they're planning to integrate AI-powered tools later this year. And not just basic stuff like chatbots. We're talking like full-fledged AI assistants in Q2.
Assistance for what? Like how?
So imagine you need help managing your finances. The AI assistant could analyze your spending habits, give you personalized advice, even automate certain tasks for you.
And get this, by Q4, they're aiming for AI agents. This is where it gets really sci-fi.
Agents. What's the difference between an assistant and an agent?
So think of it this way. An assistant is reactive. It responds to your commands. An agent is proactive. It anticipates your needs. Let's say you're thinking about investing in a new DeFi protocol. Your Astra AI agent not only analyzes the risks and simulates potential returns, it also can execute the trade for you, all in a way that you, as someone who may not be a DeFi expert, can totally understand.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty next level.
Right. It's taking personalized financial guidance to a whole new level.
So it's like a robo-advisor, but way more powerful.
Exactly. But way more intuitive.
Okay. So we've talked about their goals.
Yeah.
Let's talk about their roadmap. But let's get back to Astra Bank for a second, because we mentioned that registrations are through the roof.
Right. Tons of people want in on this.
But the approvals are lagging behind. So what's the deal with that?
Well, it's interesting because when you dig into the articles, you see that a lot of the reasons people are getting hung up are actually pretty familiar.
Familiar how?
They're very similar to what we see in traditional banking with KYC procedures. Know your customer.
Right.
Things like incomplete application forms, people not responding to emails, outdated documents, that kind of stuff.
That makes sense. So it's not necessarily that Astra AI is making it difficult?
Right. It's just that there's a certain level of due diligence that's required.
Especially when you're dealing with, people's finances.
Absolutely. Security and compliance are paramount in this space.
So it sounds like Astra Bank is actually doing a lot to try to help people through this process.
Yeah. They're really trying to be proactive here, encouraging users to double-check their information, make sure they're responding to emails promptly. They even have these really detailed onboarding guides.
Oh, so they're not just like, sorry you got rejected.
No, no, no. They're really trying to guide people through the process, which I think is a good sign. It shows they care about user experience.
Yeah. I mean, you have to wonder, like, as they scale, will they be able to maintain this level of hand-holding?
That's the question, isn't it? Can they keep this up as the user base grows?
Because it shows a real commitment to onboarding
Yeah.
and making this accessible to people, which ties into, I think, their broader mission.
Oh, absolutely. This whole idea of making Web3 user-friendly.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of that in action.
Yeah. Because Web3, for a lot of people can be really intimidating.
It is. It can be very jargony and complex. It can feel like you need a computer science degree just to understand it.
And that's a huge barrier to entry for a lot of people. I mean, even for me, and I try to stay up on this stuff.
Right.
But sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, where do I even begin?
Exactly. So if ASTRA AI can make this whole world of Web3 more accessible, more understandable, that's a huge win, not just for them, but for everyone.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. I mean, they're definitely a company to watch.
Agreed. They're really pushing the boundaries here. And I think they're just scratching the surface.
Okay. So big picture here.
Yeah.
ASTRA AI. It's like a bridge between traditional finance and Web3.
Exactly. Bridging the gap.
ASTRA Bank is kind of their flagship product, I would say.
I would agree with that.
But they're facing these challenges
Yeah. Growing pains.
with the approvals and the onboarding.
But their efforts to address these challenges are really encouraging. I mean, that commitment to user experience is not something you see every day, especially in the Web3 space.
No, it's not. But it makes you think, right? I mean, we've been talking about how they're using AI to make things easier, to personalize things. But could AI also be used in ways that are less inclusive? I mean, could it be used to create even more barriers to entry for certain people?
Whoa. That is a really good question. Yeah. Like, could this technology ultimately end up benefiting only a select few?
Something to think about, for sure. Well, I think we covered a lot of ground today.
We did. This deep dive was a wild ride.
It was. It was. ASTRA AI, ASTRA Bank, the whole world of Web3. It's a lot to take in. But if you guys are interested in learning more, I definitely encourage you to check out the sources we've linked in the description.
Yeah, do some exploring of your own.
Because this is just the beginning. We are just scratching the surface of what's possible with Web3 and with the future of finance. And who knows what's next?
I can't wait to find out.
Me neither. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Later.